It be your own damn people. We just came back from Blue Beetle, and as you can tell, we love the movie.
Loved is a strong word. Loved is a very strong word. Loved is a very strong word.
Yeah, I really love the fact that it better not be in the new DCU.
It was rough. Definitely felt like a middle of the pack comic book movie. After like so many have come out after like 20 years or so, a movie like this just drops into middle of the pack and one watch, pretty forgettable, honestly.
Yeah, it was too cartoonish. It felt like they wanted to hit you with the hammer when it came to the culture. The Blue Beetle character had no character. Acting wise, I know a lot of people cared about Zolo. I forgot the name of the actor. He was in Karate Kid. He was a good actor. I feel like the acting in the movie was fine. George Lopez was fine. It's just that the character wasn't there and everything was too cartoony. I feel like this is made for people or like I feel like a high schooler wrote this where they were like, I want to connect it to my family. I want to connect it to like what I feel the Mexican culture is or the Hispanic culture is. And some of it you can see aspects of it there, but it's done in such a way where it's not shown properly and you wouldn't be the type of person to be like, yeah, that's what my culture is. It's more of these are the bad stereotypes or shown in a bad way.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a group of people who I feel like the idea was greenlit by people who are not didn't have a good idea of what the culture actually represented and just came with like a lowest common denominator, what they hear about it, you know what I mean? On a scale from like Coco and like Encanto to like this is like way below those movies as far as like representing the cultures that they're taking part in properly. As someone being outside of like Mexican and Hispanic culture, I didn't feel like I came away with this like learning anything about them as far as like the bare minimums and like you know what I mean that you didn't hear from like bad jokes about for your whole life. I didn't get anything like worthwhile I learned or
You
whatever.
didn't laugh at the 15-year-olds in the back?
God bless them. They thought it was funny. They thought it was funny, so they got their money's worth. But yeah, a lot of those were like the jokes that were like in Spanish, and you probably feel like it's an in joke in the culture. Those were fine because like I think those were for the people who got it, you know. But the ones that seemed like for everyone else, hey, this is something about us. They just took the lowest possible way to do it. So it wasn't, you know, George Lopez tried his best because he's George Lopez, so he'll make good out of some bad lines. But
That's the thing. He had bad stuff to work with. The plot and the writing was pretty bad. This is what I feel like older people or like parents when they tell you, "Oh, you're watching a superhero movie, it's going to be cartoony and like bad dialogue and stuff is just happening, just because this is the type of movie you would expect." By no sense is it the worst superhero movie. It feels like a 20-minute cartoon episode that I'm probably watching in the 90s of a bad show where it's just like we want this to happen, this to happen, this to happen. And without spoilers, there's a lot of stuff that happens for character development for all of these characters that are just like this could have been dragged out and done and I can see the potential for what you wanted, but this is not how it should have happened. The villain was I feel like also like the idea of the villain is this shows how bad it is because if you don't have a good villain, you're not gonna have a good movie in general. So I think overall, if we're going after, I feel like nothing bad to the actors. It's just the story was just too childish. I feel like if you're 13 or 10, you're gonna enjoy this. Otherwise, you're gonna use your brain for it. If you were looking for a Beetle character, if you're looking for like a superhero movie, you're thinking maybe will be part of the new DCU. If James Gunn should bring it back, I'm happy he wouldn't. I would be like, I feel like this is X-Men Dark Phoenix, where it was like, we already knew it was gone. So why not just throw this pile out? And yeah, Dark Phoenix was worse, but this was just like, kind of like, we don't care.
it was going through the motions. You already put all the work into it. You got to put the product out, so go on ahead. But yeah, this one was just average, middle of the pack, very forgettable. Yeah, there's so many comic movies, so many origin stories, I should say. This one like, just didn't feel like it took a lot of effort in throughout with the comedy, with the way some of the characters were written, with how they tried to connect, with how they tried to communicate culture. They just took like the shortest, quickest route to do so and tried to show a bunch of cool stuff and thought like, okay, this will get them, you know. But all in all, it didn't hold up. So
If we're gonna give this movie a 1 out of 10, you tell me first.
the longer I think about this movie, man, the lower it gets. When I first saw it coming out of the theater, I'm like, oh, it's like a 6 out of 10. And then I slept on it. I'm like, oh, this might be a 5. And in the moment, I'm thinking 4. Honestly, it just keeps getting lower. I'll go 5 out of 10. It's okay. It's mediocre. It's not, aggressively bad, but it's just kind of, what am I supposed to do with this? I'm not gonna watch it again, probably ever. It doesn't matter where it comes out at. I have HBO Max. I'm still not gonna watch it when it comes out on there. So it's 5 out of 10. Pretty forgettable.
5 out of 10. See, I'm a bit more the opposite. I let this movie sit with me, and only reason I think I try to give it more of the benefit of the doubt is because when you think of movies like X-Men: Dark Phoenix, which are bad, Thor: Love and Thunder, which are bad, and then I'm like, is this as bad?
Nah, Thor: Love and Thunder was worse. Thor: Love and Thunder was like aggressively bad. This wasn't aggressive. It was just like mediocre. It's like it's not good.
See?
It's middle of the pack. Thor: Love and Thunder is bottom of the pack. It's bad. It's trash. It's one of the worst. I can't say that about this. This was okay. It was 5 out of 10, right down the middle. There's enjoyable stuff about it, but there's more stuff about it that's just low tier, no effort, trash, forgettable. Never. I feel like I'm repeating myself now, but it's basically like that's it for me. So
Yeah, I think I would give it, honestly, I wouldn't even want to give it a 7. I would probably give it a 6.5. But I guess if we're gonna have to give it a final review, if you're leaning more towards a 5 and I'm like a 6.5, I feel like we should give it a 6. 6 out of 10. I feel like that's fair for this movie. I wish the character was better. I feel like a lot of people were hoping this movie would be better, especially the actors. They show a lot of hope for it, but can't save bad writing. Can't wait to see the new DCU with James Gunn.
save us, James, please save us. Work your Guardians magic, please. We beg you.
Oh man, finally a good Superman movie after a while. I think Man of Steel was good, but
Yeah, Man of Steel was good. It's been
I
so
just-
long since people have been begging for a Man of Steel 2, and instead of Man of Steel 2, you're gonna get this new Superman movie. So the expectation is gonna be super
if
high
Henry
for it.
Cavill is not coming back, which I think is a great Superman, this new Superman movie better be. If he can do Guardians, I hope he doesn't end up being another Taika Waititi where you gave him one good thing and later on he failed later.
Nah, because Suicide Squad was good. Suicide Squad was good. I feel like so. Guardians, Suicide Squad. You can
He's
reach
on a
out.
roll, so let's see.
Taika is a little too much in the first.
I know.
And then Ragnarok, so they just gave him free reign and it got all over the place. But
So James Gunn, like I say, you're my only hope for the DC. Let's see. Thank you guys for watching.
take care.
Have a great night.